1 week from today, Brazil will have a new president, and it could be the man known as the Trump of the tropics. Far-right presidential candidate Jair Bolsonaro has made international headlines with controversial views. And now there are fresh accusations that he and others spread false information via popular messaging app. Alex Morgan and our team in theCUBE, they've been looking into this story. Alex, what do you have?
Tessa, WhatsApp finds itself at the center of perhaps the most divisive election in Brazil in decades. This, the popular messaging app owned by Facebook, finding itself surrounded by claims that misinformation is shared with almost impunity on the platform. And in Brazil, this is a hugely popular app. Let me just show you how many users. More than 120 million people in Brazil use WhatsApp. Now, a firm Datafolha, which is a polling institute, says that equates to roughly 2/3 of Brazil's voters. Now, when you think the population overall is roughly 210 million, this is a huge market for Facebook-owned WhatsApp. But then, look at this point at the bottom here. WhatsApp, unlike Facebook and Twitter, is a closed platform. That means messages are sent directly between users in closed private networks. Unlike public posts and tweets, these messages are sent in these groups. And you and I, if we're not in these groups, we can't see them. And it is here, away from the public eye, away from fact checkers and journalists. It is here, directly between people, that misinformation is being shared. So let me just take you through how exactly this could look. This is how they trick you. 2 tweets. One is fake. Both of them claiming to come from Haddad, the left-wing candidate. This one at the top praising Venezuela's regime. This one at the bottom, his latest tweet. The same username, the same blue verified tick on Twitter. For an ordinary user who's had this sent to them by a friend or someone they know in a small group, it's very difficult, and a lot of time to leave the app, search the internet, and try and verify this. But such is the problem, the scale of the disinformation, that 24 media organizations in Brazil fact-check posts like this. And let me just show you what exactly they're pointing out here. This one at the top was the fake. Did you spot it? Probably not. The giveaway, an @ symbol missing. Both of these claim to be mobile screenshots. I can tell you the bottom one definitely is. I took it. And when you screenshot on Twitter, the full username, always containing an @ symbol, is displayed. Up here, no @ symbol, but everything else mirroring perfectly a tweet. One visual clue that took us a long time to spot alongside the journalists and fact checkers in Brazil. And it's examples like this which go to show how easy it is for this information to be shared and how hard in these closed networks for ordinary people to spot, Tessa.
All right, thank you for that, Alex, and our team in theCUBE. This is very interesting in discussion because as opposed to Facebook, that is a public social network, and this is private peer-to-peer. I mean, it is dangerous to spread false information, but what are we to do? I mean, what is...
This is also the problem. What can you do, really, in many regards? I mean, how far do you go, potentially, in trying to curb this? Because, in some ways, it is just private messaging between individuals. Now, we know that when WhatsApp have taken some action, for example, in India, and pretty immediate action, when actually some people were killed by mobs after false allegations being made that they've been involved in some type of sex crime, and WhatsApp limited the number of people, essentially, that you can send one message to. So that means
there were crimes committed as a result of it.
Is slowed down. When it comes to election politics, it is a lot more difficult. Should it be considered alongside TV advertising or newspaper advertising? I'm not entirely sure it should be, because you then start to blur the lines between what is a private message between potentially just two individuals.
As you know, this is happening in Brazil. It's a very important election happening in Brazil. Let's go to that. Thousands have rallied against Bolsonaro, we were talking about earlier, during this campaign, now, in large part because of controversial comments that have provoked outrage. Let's take a listen.
Fica aí, Maria do Rosário, fica. Há poucos dias tu me chamou de estuprador no Salão Verde e eu falei que não ia estuprar você porque você não merece. Garantir o legítimo direito à defesa ao cidadão de bem. Eu entendo que se tiver alguém assaltando ali, qualquer um de nós, por lá de cá, civil ou militar, se der 20 tiros em cima daquele cara, é bem dado, ele tem que ser condecorado e não processado. Se Trump saiu do acordo de Paris, se saiu, é porque não interessava a seu país. Se é para demarcar o AAA e nós perdemos a calha do Solimões e Amazonas, a calha norte, também sairei se for presidente. Hoje em dia, a maioria dos homossexuais vota em mim no Brasil. Se alguém, eu ou você, seja quem for, resolver ser gay, vai ser feliz. Ninguém tem nada a ver com isso. Agora, botar isso na escola,
Eu não admito. Pode me chamar de homofóbico à vontade, que isso eu não admito.
I mean, he made even more controversial comments that we're not airing. Eva, I will ask you. I mean, he almost made it to 50% so that there wouldn't be a runoff. This guy is popular. So is it, he's genuinely voted by people? People genuinely like him?
Well, I think that this is a new reality. We have these controversial personalities that manage to gain a lot of popular votes. That doesn't make sense. So basically, if you speak like that for women, you have women voters. It doesn't make sense. So I think people are frustrated. The new social media platforms, the global platforms, and the fear of something new that's happening, things are changing globally, make people want strong leaders, even if they speak like that. So I think we have to have a totally different response. We have to educate citizens to be able to look for smart answers. They should not be misled by fake news. They should be themselves who try to find if this is fake or not. But it's not easy. It's a new reality, though. Unfortunately, it's not just Brazil.
A new reality, like an era of strongmen. And as you say, it's fueled by frustration. So it's emotional.
Yeah, of course it's...
I think it is, but it's also reflecting, as you say, certainly on certain worlds that we now find ourselves in with technology and changing, moving people. I think in Brazil there was also the added level that Haddad's party has been for years now mired in corruption. We've essentially got two former presidents completely complicit in corruption. And so that will add, of course, to his vote. But, he's a populist, and clearly the rise of populism is not just confined to Europe.
It's interesting to see the effect of if he does win this on the entire region.
And the problem is fear. It's not just being frustrated. It's like fear. They use fear, and this is what's the scariest thing about populism.
I think there was significant impact potentially for us will be the Paris Accords.
Right.
Speaking to some Green MEPs here, and experts say that Brazil is the bulwark really to the Paris Accord in South America. If it pulls out, potentially the entire continent could follow.
Indeed, and as Eva was saying, I mean, this is a reaction really to frustration, and then you have an era of strongmen. All right.